With LIGHTFALL being mere weeks away, I wanted to put some extra things on the checklist of those who have nothing better to do. Today I'm going to be highlighting things that I will be farming for and things that you may want to start farming for as well. We'll be looking over 4 separate farms in today's video, and before we get any further, I want to make it clear that there are more farms that you may want to partake in, but these were the ones that I wanted to highlight. If you have one that I forgot to mention, then consider dropping it in the comments below. With that being said, let's dive into the video. Let's open up the video with a farm that you can only do this week before LIGHTFALL, and that is Duality farming. Now when I refer to farming Duality, I'm referring to Artifice Armor farming. We know thanks to the build crafting blog that was released a couple weeks ago that Artifice Armor's extra slot will now grant you access to a mod that will give you an additional 3 points to 1 stat instead of a socket that is exclusive to seasonal mods. Due to that, you may want to look into farming one of the 2 dungeon bosses for easy access to Artifice Armor. The strategy for the 2 dungeon bosses are different, so for Galrun, you'll want to run swords with loosened blade and a well to cook him as fast as possible, and for Kydal, linears and well are still to play. If you don't have an easy way to access the checkpoint for Kydal, then I've left a link to the Discord server in the description below which will allow you to get the checkpoint easily, so head down there and join it. Other things to farm for in Duality also include the grenade launcher thanks to its access to blinding nades and choke clip, and the SMGs since it is one of the best void SMGs in the game. Regardless of what you choose to farm, you will only benefit from farming Duality. The next farm you can do is Lost Sector farming, and yes, I know this is a serious snooze fest of a farm, but at least it's not as limited as the Duality farms. Lost Sector farming can be done every single day leading up to LIGHTFALL, but the reason I am mentioning this farm is solely because you can actually hoard Lost Sector engrams in your postmaster for when LIGHTFALL drops to get an easy Lost Sector exotic. All you need to do for this farm is to fill your 10 engram slots with any kind of engrams as long as they are filled, and then go run Lost Sectors until you get an exotic engram to drop. Once the engram is in your postmaster, wait until LIGHTFALL, and then once the Lost Sector is dropping the armor slot of the new exotic you're chasing, meaning if you're chasing the new Hunter helmet for an example, and the Lost Sector is dropping helmets for that day, claim the engram for an easy new exotic. The next farm is one that will begin during the last week of the season, and that is the Wendigo farm. With grenade launchers getting a buff in LIGHTFALL, many players, including myself, have set our eyes on the reprised grenade launcher. According to several GM infographics that have come from many reliable sources within the community, the Wendigo and its adept counterpart will become farmable during the last week of the season, which is the February 21st reset. Not to mention that for that week, the easiest Grandmaster strike to farm this season will be the chosen strike for the week, making it easier to farm. As always, I will have a guide uploaded on the Tuesday reset for farming that strike easily, so be sure to return to this channel for the guide. Otherwise, you can do GMs while waiting to get your hands on Ascendant shards, but if you want to blow your load for GMs all in one week, then wait until the final week of the season. The last farm I am going to cover in today's video is one that I've covered on my channel already, but has become relevant once more thanks to the upcoming LIGHTFALL raid, and that is spoil farming. For those that may be unaware, spoil farming refers to people doing raid encounters over and over again for spoils of conquest, which can be used to purchase raid gear at the end of raids, starting from Deepstone Crypt and going onwards. The best spoil farm in the game can be found in the King's Fall raid, and more specifically the Daughter's Encounter. It's a relatively fast farm, clocking in at roughly 2.5 minutes per run, which isn't too bad, and the loadouts that I mentioned in that video are still viable as well for farming. But if your team doesn't feel comfortable with running rockets, then linears will do just fine. Having a full stack of spoils on one character, or at least having around 100 to 200 spoils, will be good enough, but you can definitely farm until your eyes bleed, just depending on what you prefer as a player. With that being said, that'll wrap up this video. Obviously there are a bunch of farms for other things in the game, but I wanted to highlight these farms as I think they are amongst the most important farms to do before LIGHTFALL. If you have another farm that you think will be helpful, then drop it in the comments for others to see. Anyways, if you found the video helpful, then consider dropping a like and subscribing to my channel for more Destiny 2 content dropping every week. If you want to partake in some farms or just want a stream to hang out in, then be sure to stop by my streams that happen right here on YouTube. Finally, follow me on my social media platforms, all linked in the description below. With that being said, I'm SniperKH, and I'm out. Good luck with gaming.